we'll get right into conduct of business, and we've decided to move item F up first. Item 10F is receive a report and provide direction regarding a monetary contribution to the 76th Annual Posy Parade.
Through your chair, Mr. Mayor, although it's not a financial benefit to me, but personally, but it's been recommended that I step down and not participate in the discussion.
Okay.
Just to clarify, Councilmember Ibero's abstention from this vote, it has to do with his very active involvement with the Lions Club. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, this item is before you tonight at the request of the San Bruno Lions Club, the very proud sponsors and organizers of the annual Posy Parade event, which is historically recognized as the longest-running children's parade in the United States. 2016 will be the 76th annual event here in San Bruno. It is an important, not only historical event or an event of historical significance, but it is a great opportunity for our community to gather to celebrate itself and to just enjoy what is usually a very nice day, both through our town as well as at the parade conclusion at City Park. The club is requesting the city's financial participation to help fund the costs of delivering the event this year. And although we have received similar requests in previous years, staff does not remember any time in the recent past or in the last several years where the city has made a monetary contribution to delivery of the Posy Parade. Instead, historically and for many, many years, the city of San Bruno has supported the delivery of the Posy Parade with a very substantial contribution of in-kind services, primarily through the police department for pre-event parking control, parking enforcement, and during the conduct or during the time of the parade for traffic control, which is obviously an important aspect of the event as it travels along busy city streets, including El Camino Real, which is obviously heavily traveled. This year, for the first time, the Community Day event, sponsored by the Community Foundation, funded by the Community Foundation and delivered by the City of San Bruno, will be coordinated with the Posy Parade and delivered on the same day, the first Sunday in June. So we anticipate a bigger, more active, broader-based event than in previous years, and we, of course, are really looking forward to that. Again, the Lions Club has requested your financial participation. Staff recommends that this is a policy decision for the City Council. I would call out to your for your information that having not funded this event in previous years, it is not a budgeted item, and it is there are no designated funds that are readily available to provide to the event. So staff would be happy to answer any questions, and we have a few representatives of the Lions Club in the audience who may wish to make some comments as well.
Okay. See, we have quite a pride of Lions with us tonight. So, Mel, you wrote the letter. Would you like to tell us what this is about?
Hi.
Hi.
Mr. Mayor, City Council.
And for the benefit of the public, just tell us who you are.
Oh, I am Mel Phillips. I live on Cherry Avenue.
Okay.
I am also a San Bruno Lion. So, good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. I want to thank you personally for all the support you've given us, Lions, in the past for our projects and the Posy Parade. Lions, in general, is an international organization, but I'm only going to tell you a little bit about it because I think the public needs to know this. We are 1 million in strength. We're in 212 countries throughout the world, and our motto is we serve. We serve our communities. Every Lion in the world is dedicated to serving their community. So the San Bruno Lions are no different than that. We tend to put together projects and help our community to grow in a more substantial way, a better way. And we do a lot of different things within the community. Well, for instance, we do the planning, the organizing, and bringing to the community the Posy Parade. We have an eyeglass project where we help people in this community that can't afford to put glasses on their children and do exactly that. We also, pardon me, we also provide food baskets through the schools, and we also provide a lot of gifts for some of the other school children in the district, and we call that our Project Santa Claus. There goes my voice. Our newest project is called Kids Sight, where we have purchased a scanner, substantial cost scanner, and we can go around and scan all the children of this town, and we are setting up a program through the schools, which we are doing that now, and by the end of this month, we will have scanned 400 children in the San Bruno Park School District. We're doing this in conjunction with the school district, and basically, we will be able to test a child within in about a 3-second time, and it'll show the 7 basic problems that come up in children's eyes, and this is something that can be corrected if it's found early. And basically, the rest of it is that we are a 501c3 foundation, and every dollar that is donated to us or that we earn comes back to our community in the form of service to the community. So if you have any specific questions for me, I'd love to answer them.
Do you recall when the city has given you a monetary compensation for the Posy?
Yes. It was in well, you know, my history in lines goes back 34 years, so there's a lot to remember here. I have chaired the Posy Parade 10 times. This will be my 10th time. That started in the 80s through the 90s, and in the 80s and the 90s, the city did donate to us for every Posy Parade. And then as I moved out of that position and moved forward in Lionism, I was kind of away from that project, so I don't really know where that went, where the funding went. And then I am back now running the parade, and I said to myself, this is probably going to be one of the largest parades we've ever had because of working with the city in conjunction with the Community Day in the park. I have spoken myself personally to every school principal. We are available to speak to PTAs. We've spoken to everybody we can about all this, including the sports teams, about their participation. So we're expecting a lot more children this year and a lot more expense to go with that.
Yeah, the reason I ask is I've been on the council for a long time too, and I don't recall where we've financially participated, but I guess the concern that I have is that we haven't budgeted anything for this at
Right.
all, and you know it's a general fund item, and we haven't had any discussion earlier or recently about coming up with $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000. So that's just a concern I have, but I'd like to hear from the rest of the council. Marty?
I think it's a nominal fee or a contribution for considering that it's a free event, and of all the good that the Lions do, I have no problem with your request. Even though it's not budgeted, I believe that we can live with that. There's 41,000 residents in San Bruno. That's around 7 cents per person. It's a free event. Everybody come down. If you had some buckets on each of the cars that are driving by that you stop and somebody puts in $5, we can do things like that. So we can do that. I'm in favor of it. I appreciate everything you're doing, and that's what I have to say.
You got to make sure you check all those cars.
Yes.
They're all signed up. Irene, anything?
I I have been on the council a long time as well, and I do remember we did do some contributions years ago. I believe it was when I was first on the council. And then the city got into some financial, well, the world got into some financial difficulties, and we had to cut back on those kinds of things. Do you remember that? So that was a hardship. I would like to do it as well. I'm not sure about the practicality of putting money in a bucket, but if there's some one-time money that we can find, I would like to do it. Is there, I don't know, staff, Carrie, somebody? Do we have something somewhere tucked away somewhere that we could slush fund? No.
Connie?
The answer to that is no. I mean, we typically end up with a positive fund balance at the end of the year, just based on a variety of good budgeting and budget management practices. But there is no there's no money tucked away that we could readily identify. And in particular, as the council knows, we did not budget for Community Day in the park. We have a $25,000 contribution from the Community Foundation this year. So we're, I'm sure staff is mindful of that budget and working to stay within that that parameter. But we have a number of things on our plate as well.
Rico?
So most of my colleagues know that I'm the budget concerned person up here, along with my colleagues, but this is something it is not budgeted for, which is something that we should address then in the upcoming budget, which you're going to ask us at the end to schedule some times. That's the first thing. In addition to what Mel said, they've done other things like the Beckner Shelter and other facilities and many things throughout the community. And I've had the privilege of interacting with the San Bruno Lions and even the Millbrae and Burlingame. So I'm familiar with all the good that's done. But again, I want to see where the money's going to come from. We can all sit up here and say it's a nominal here and a nominal there. There was, Council Member O'Connell was correct, when the budget got bad, all the groups and all the organizations and from the county, the local, the state, whoever was asking for money were all turned down. And it hasn't happened again since. I know there's hard costs that the city is more than happy and does put into the Posy Parade. I'd like to kind of know what those are. I think, unless staff does know what they are. But I think we need to, I always like looking at a thing in a big picture. If it was my personal money, not a problem. But it's what I'm entrusted to do and to make sure that we're doing it right. It's not budgeted. If staff can find a way, how on the last budget cycle we were able to redo a title, we were able to have another 30,000 here, and we had another police officer on the street, I'm all for it. But I want to know where the money's coming from. But rather than, well, I hope we're going to have a carryover and then therefore we'll be okay. Though it's not a lot of money, and I get it. But on the practicality and the principle, if Rotary, who also does a great job, comes and has something that they come forward and say, it's only $1,000, and we do a lot of good, I want to be able to have that same discussion across the board. Or if it was 4-H. So if staff can find the money, then I'm for it. But I do like things done through the normal budget cycle in the process.
So,
Oh, I'm sorry, through the chair?
Yeah. Irene?
Mel, have you contacted the foundation and asked them for the contribution?
No, I haven't.
They might be able to more readily than we can right now, because we haven't started our budget process. And I'm with Rico, maybe we can put this in for next year, but staff is saying to us, everything's tight right this minute.
That's a great suggestion. Thank you very much.
And Mel, I'm more than happy after the meeting or tomorrow morning, by the time we get out of here, to reach out to the foundation to see if there is available funding.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much. And once
Thank
again,
you.
thank you for all the work you do. It's, a lot of it lies under the surface and people don't realize, and it's good to get it out there. So I appreciate you coming in and telling us about the Lions in general, and especially about San Bruno Lions.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.